Yubel is definitely a deck that wants to go first, but now Jesse's going to lead things off with Fiendsmith Engraver. He's going to discard that to add a Fiendsmith spell or trap from the deck to the hand.
Fiendsmith Tract enters his hand in its place, and he's going to activate it.
No draw on Lockbird, so step 1 has been passed.
He's going for the Fabled Lurie, the traditional pick, and he's going to discard it, special summon it, and I suspect he'll send it to the graveyard in a link summon for Requiem.
Here comes Fiendsmith's Requiem. I was going to tribute it off. We've seen this before. Why don't you summon another copy of Fiendsmith Engraver from the deck to the field?
Nice quarter-century rare.
Definitely nice to see the quarter-century secret rares making an appearance here at the top tables and top 4.
He's going to equip it with his Requiem, with using Requiem's effect in the graveyard. Or looks like they were paused for a moment.
Maybe it's an issue with the mics that they potentially have on them. Looks like they're talking to the tech guy real quick. Then they're going to get right... Yeah. Now we can hear them. Now they're jumping right back into the game.
Yep.
The game stayed unaffected. Here comes the Requiem. It's now equipped to the Engraver.
Yep, the original Sinful Spoils is going to send Requiem. It looks like Carlos is going to look at his hand now. He might have a response. And it is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring.
That could slow Jesse down. We'll see what he has to follow up with.
Yep.
Still has the Engraver effect in the graveyard. We can summon it back. Looks like he'd be looking to play another card from his hand. It's going to be Wanted. Seeker of the Sinful Spoils. So that's going to let him add Diabell Star the Black Witch from the deck to the hand. And it's going to set him up to draw a card later on in his turn by putting back that original Sinful Spoils.
Original Sinful Spoils is a strong card to use Ash Blossom against, because a lot of times that's what starts the Snake Eye combos.
Indeed it is. Now he's going to draw a card. Looks like he either had the Snake Eye Ash or drew into it, but now he's going to normal summon Snake Eye Ash and let him access Snake Eye's Poplar. This is effectively rendering that Ash Blossom on the original Sinful Spoils useless. That's why I kind of like to hold it just in case for like the summon of Flamebird's Dragon or Snake Eye's Oak, so you can try and just cut them off later on in the strategy, but it's tough. Looks like he is thinking on Resolution.
It's hard to predict Jesse already had the Ash or would top deck it.
It is tough. But definitely a moment of thinking here from Carlos.
Allow him to activate.
So he is going to try Nibiru here. Not a bad spot. He doesn't want Jesse to have access to Snake Eyes Flamebird's Dragon. Because once that hits the field, it's a lot harder for a Nibiru to have an impact.
So far, Carlos has pretty strong interaction against Jesse's plays.
Thinking if I want to use Poplar.
But Jesse's hand was quite strong, too.
Now he's trying to decide if he wants to put anything in his spell and trap card zone with the effect of Snake Eyes Poplar.
I will not.
Chooses not to.
What could that be signaling he may have?
There's just nothing that he can gain from putting the card in the spell and trap card zone. The fire monsters, if his only options were level 1s, he might be still looking to summon Snake Eyes Flamebird's Dragon later on in the turn, and needs to bring back both of the level 1s with it.
Yep.
But now he's going to follow it up with Divine Temple of the Snake Eyes to put a Snake Eye monster from his deck to the spell and trap card zone.
Snake Eye Diabell Star.
Oh, this would be another reason not to do it, because you're able to just put that Poplar in the spell and trap card zone as you push forward Snake Eyes Diabell Star. And now if he sends it later on, he can put the Snake Eyes Diabell Star back in the spell and trap card zone, which is pretty useful. So he has a lot of options right now. He can go into Hita, since there is an Ash Blossom in Carlos's graveyard.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yep, there's Hita the Fire Charmer.
From 2 monsters, he's going into a Link 2, which is going to climb up to a Link 3 if he so chooses. And that looks like exactly what he's going to do.
Yep, and now he's going to be able to access Flamebird's Dragon as he's always intended, because this princess can bring back... Oh, he's going to go into Celine.
Celine can bring back his Diabell Star. He has Diabell Star in the graveyard, right?
Yep.
He does. Or he can bring back Snake Eyes Diabell Star. Also works.
Yeah, I was thinking of Diabell Star, the Black Witch, but it works.
It's also in there. It's
They're
also
both
in
Diabell
there.
Star, so.
And let's see if where he goes next with this. Maybe usually an Appaloosa from here.
Could be if he has a bunch of follow-up plays to make as well. So yeah, there's the Appaloosa with 2 materials. It'll have 1,600 attack points. It can negate monster effects. He must already have some way to deal with that 3,000 attack point Nibiru, the Primal Being. So he's going to summon the Engraver from his graveyard by returning Requiem.
It's going to be met by a Bestial Druid Worm, but immediately negated here from the Appaloosa, but that's one less negate Carlos has to worry about on his following turn.
Yeah, that's not quite how you want to use your Appaloosa's effect, keeping the Druid Worm in your opponent's hand.
Oh, he hadn't summoned. He just wanted for the Black Witch. He hadn't summoned it yet.
So the Snake Eyes Diabell Star was the only Diabell Star for him to summon with Thessaline.
Still got him where he needs to go, and now he's going to link these 2 monsters away for is going to be Fiendsmith sequence.
There it is.
Diffuse. Yep.
Now he's going to shuffle back the materials to fusion summon. Going to put back 1 Light Fiend and another Light Fiend. So it looks like we're going to be looking at Fiendsmith's Lacrima.
Looks like it.
There it is. We've seen this strategy plenty of times, and now it's going to bring it back Fiendsmith's Engraver to the field.
He'll use Sequence and Lacrima, it looks like. Now he can summon a Link 2 or 3 monster. He's eyeing that Promethean Princess. And that's the way he's going.
Effects equip. Yep. Sorry, effect equip and then effect target send.
So he'll equip the Sequence to his Engraver, then use the Engraver's effect to send the Sequence and the Nibiru to the graveyard. Clear Carlos's field. Don't forget, whatever field Jesse can build here is only matched by a 3-card hand that Carlos still has remaining since he used Nibiru and Ash Blossom. Sure. That's going to make things tough to deal with.
Now he's going to use Snake Eye Ash to summon Snake Eye Oak from the deck and bring back Snake Eye Ash.
Oak's effect summoning Ash gives him an extra body to deal with, or to use for Link summons. Promethean.
Yep, he's going to use Snake Eye Oak's effect to send those 2 to the graveyard to summon Snake Eye Flamebird's Dragon from the deck to the field, finally touching down. So he's not short of materials by any means. That represents 2 monsters coming back.
Feels weird giving up a Link 3 so easily, but I think Promethean Princess's strength is in the graveyard.
Definitely. And now 2 other monsters being linked away. Could just be an IP Masquerena right here. Yep.
Indeed it is.
So now he's probably just going to decide to leave the Flamebirds on the field, not have to use the effect to summon back. Looks like he missed the effect of Lacrima, or maybe he chose not to use it, wants to keep it in the graveyard instead of burning for the 1200. Flamebirds is going to put Snake Eyes Diabell Star in the Spell and Trap card zone. And pass. So Appaloosa with 800 attack, IP Masquerena.
No, I did make sure you shoveled, but you can go ahead and again.
Just making sure the deck is randomized.
I'll draw for turn.
As long as it's random, it doesn't matter if Carlos randomizes it again. So Carlos has 4 cards now in his hand.
One's a Bestial Druid Worm, which can force out the Appaloosa potentially right away.
One looks like a Nightmare Archfiends, which is not a card I think he wants to draw. Certainly not one he wants to draw going second. So that leaves him with 2 more potentially relevant cards.
Yeah, that's the downside to using those cards that can help you, do that first turn finish. But
he does have a 50-card deck to help him try to not draw them.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate when you happen to draw those 1-0s. But opening the Spirit Gate's a great start here. Going to add Dark Beckoning Beast from the deck to the hand.
Summon effect.
He normal summons it, activates the effect. Jesse only has 1 negation with Appaloosa, so he has to think carefully about whether he wants to use it. But he does have an effect Veiler, so he's actually going to use that negation instead.
Yep, it makes a lot of sense because now its full effect is going to be negated, but he's going to be able to link that away for Salman Great Almirage. This is when Almirage comes in handy, is when you have opening the Spirit Gates and your Dark Beckoning Beast gets negated.
He's going to discard Chaos Summoning Beast with his opening of the Spirit Gates to bring back a Fiend with 0 attack points, 0 defense points.
Sure.
Jesse says sure. Dark Beckoning Beast is back.
How many do you have in hand?
2 cards.
Well, we know one of them's a Gruus Worm. Jesse knows that too. And we, the viewers, know that the other one is
That is fine.
the Nightmare Archfiends.
Alright, so he's going to use the IP Masquerade Ascending Flamebird and IP Masquerade of the Graveyard to link summon probably an SP Little Knight.
Like 1 target. 2 Flamebird.
Try and take out that Dark Beckoning Beast.
He's going to succeed. Flamberg Dragon's effect will special summon Snake Eye Oak. And Snake Eye looks like he's eyeing the Ash. Yep, Snake Eye Ash in defense mode.
Like 1 target. Poplar. 2 Ash.
Next one. Okay.
You're conceding?
Yep. Yeah.
And Carlos is going to concede the game. He's seen enough, and Jesse's going to take a little bit better here for Carlos, representing Mexico.
Ooh, Merle Charmy, Perulia.
Finally, we get to see it. It is very good against Yubel. They do happen to summon from the hand a few times. We'll see if Carlos can navigate a way to not have to summon from his hand, or maybe he's just going to go for that same kind of line we saw where he can access those trap cards and try and win it on this first turn without having to worry about how many cards Jesse draws.
It is possible.
It happened to me once this tournament.
Yep, doesn't get drawn Lockbird. Wanted to
0
check.
foresight.
Now Track's going to add the Lurie. Luckily here he won't be giving any draws to Jesse because the Lurie gets discarded and special summons from the graveyard, not from the hand.
Yeah, that short detour will save him from allowing Jesse to draw a card.
Definitely.
And
now
to grave to field.
And back to the graveyard as he links it away for Fiendsmith's Requiem.
Requiem special summons from the deck. Jesse hasn't drawn any cards yet.
See how much Carlos is able to do here.
Carlos kept a Nibiru in his deck going first, it looks like. Is that common?
Yeah, as long as there's not too much you want to take out, because if you have a board, it's a lot harder for them to like break your board and push past the Nibiru. But Bestial Jewelstorm's going to try and come down for Jesse, and Carlos has Crossout Designator, but Jesse has a Magnumit, so he's going to go after that Fiendsmith Engraver.
That was brutal.
And you see that Jesse led with the Druid Swarm, knowing that if something bad happened, he would still have the Magnumit. He might not have a search target. Oh, he does at least Flamebird as a dragon at very minimum.
He does activate the effect, so he very likely does have at least a Flamberg Dragon in the deck. Could have other Bestials as well.
More Druid Swarms, more Ball Drakes.
Could be. That was rough for Carlos, who now used his Crossout Designator basically to accomplish nothing.
Yeah, he's down a card. If he summons from his hand, Jesse gets more cards. So he's going to use Engraver's Effect to send the Requiem to destroy the Magnumit.
Better than nothing. And all right, well, he didn't give Jesse any cards with the Mulcharmy, Perulia.
So he's just hoping that Jesse's not going to be able to beat him with the cards that he has in his hand, and it does look like he plays more copies of Bestials in his deck.
He's
going to be
the
Bestial Ball Drake. Yep.
All right. Oh, this is rough. Jesse has 4 cards. He'll be drawing to 5 when his turn starts.
Alright, my turn.
All he needs here is a Snake Eye Ash. We do know that Carlos has Nibiru, but that is a card that Jesse can play around. Does he have any starters, or are all his cards in his hand defensive options?
Main phase 1.
So move to main phase 1. He's going to start with Druid Swarm. We knew he had that.
He has that in Baldrake, so he needs, well...
How many cards in hand?
That and Baldrake alone can get him into
Moon.
Requiem. Moon into Requiem.
Yep.
So, I mean, he has plays, that's for sure. Does he have better plays is the question.
Battle phase.
Looks like he's just going to go straight into battle phase, attack over the Engraver, deciding to hold on to the Baldrake as an interruption, because now that the Engraver's in the graveyard, he wants to make sure he can get it out there, so the least amount of follow-up that Carlos can have on his next turn is going to be key.
That's definitely the right play, because Carlos clearly has a weak opening, and now he's going to capitalize on that and be able to make things even more difficult for Carlos. But it does appear Jesse was not able to summon a Snake Eye Ash.
Again, we're seeing the downside to running these extra cards in your deck as he draws a copy of Archfiend Eris, which is not what you want to see. It's a combo piece you want to send to the graveyard. So there are some downsides to using this kind of engine in your deck.
He normal summons it, Jesse shrugs and says, okay.
And he's attacking and conceding. He knows he can't win.